Ukraine is putting the squeeze on Russia on several fronts, including inside a courtroom. The war crimes trial of a Russian soldier accused of killing a Ukrainian civilian in the early days of the war got underway Friday. It is expected to resume next week. In its fight against Russia's offensive line in the east, Ukraine apparently managed to disable a key bridge. This comes as Ukraine says Russian forces are pulling out of a major city after weeks of heavy bombardment. Adding to that, Finland wants to join NATO, and Sweden is likely to follow. At the same time, a top Ukrainian official says the direction of the war could change. Charlie D'Agata is in west central Ukraine in the city of Vinnytsia this morning with the very latest. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Dana. This doesn't look like much of a war zone here because here it's really not. People are coming back out onto the streets. They're no longer hiding out in bunkers, and it's kind of returning to normal. Meanwhile, Ukraine's top intelligence chief has made two bold statements overnight. One, a coup to remove President Putin is already underway. Two, Russia will be defeated by the end of the year. A grim tally of the human costs on both sides of Putin's war. Recovery teams have been collecting the bodies of Russian soldiers from the battlefield. Body bags loaded onto refrigerated boxcars for their final journey home, if the Kremlin agrees to take them. While those captured now face a courtroom for war crimes. The trial of 21-year-old Russian Sergeant Vadim Shishimarin got underway in the capital, accused of shooting an unarmed 62-year-old man on a bike, leaving him for dead. Ukrainian troops have successfully driven back attacks in Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv, but shelling to the north of the city killed 2 civilians and destroyed a humanitarian center. Everyone was preparing for breakfast as usual, the relative of one victim said. Then there were explosions and I fell to the ground. When I ran there, he was lying at this place and both of his legs were gone. The Russians have shown no mercy at the steel plant in Mariupol, continuing to pummel what's left of the facility while hundreds of Ukrainian fighters remain trapped below with no way out. Thousands of ground forces in Mariupol have been redeployed. These Russian-backed separatists seen on the move north to the eastern Donbass region, where the conflict has become a bloody stalemate with casualties climbing by the day. The Ukrainian military released drone video purporting to show destroyed pontoon bridges and battered Russian tanks and armored vehicles that had tried to cross a key river. Unable to pierce through Ukrainian defenses, the Russian military has been unleashing artillery and airstrikes, raining down on civilian areas like this neighborhood in Bakhmut we visited. Furious residents demanding to know why their homes were targeted and why they weren't getting any help putting their homes and lives back together. Now, standing next to that crater, it's hard to know exactly what the Russians were aiming for unless the aim was to spread terror. But the residents that we spoke to said they have no intention of leaving. Michelle?
Yes, especially with no military targets in sight. Charlie D'Agata in Vinnytsia, Ukraine. Thank you.